Datzydecogurl. 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 Datzydecogurl.
Alright guys, welcome to the Bayou Interviews. I'm your host, Datzydecogurl. We are sitting with Paggy today. I've known Paggy for a good couple of years.
Yeah.
Paggy, you want to say hi to the people and the fans?
Hi to the people and the fans.
Indeed, indeed. Here we are. Yes, even during the pandemic, we are being safe. And just to tell this wonderful artist and this musician, this mother, this nurse, her story into the journeys of being a musician, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly. How you doing today, Paggy?
I'm doing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
As soon as COVID's over, I'm gonna be good.
I guarantee, I mean, all of us. So
Yeah.
you want to start by saying where you're from? And
Well, I'm from New Orleans in the West Bank. I live in Thibodeau now. It's more quiet on the bayou. It'd be your scene.
it would be
Your
my scene.
Yeah.
I'm a fisher. I love to do all that stuff.
Yes,
You know.
definitely.
You know how we do.
Well, it's just the mosquitoes, but other than that, everything's good.
Digging up to carry you away.
Yeah. I know the state bird when I see it.
Lord. So, Paggy, I want to ask you, what inspired you to truly find your voice within the music industry, within the trials and tribulations of life and growing and, you know, just finding your place in the front? What did that take for you to do that?
You mean as far as how did I get into music in the first place?
Indeed. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think for me, it's just a natural thing. I've always believed like features, facial features, physical features is the genetic thing that you get from a parent or something, but I believe like talents and stuff are a genetic thing that you get. So my father was a big musician, played all over New Orleans and the West Bank. And I mean, probably from the age where I could talk, I was singing. So it's just a natural thing, you know? It's not a hobby and it's not a job, even though it is my job.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of life, right?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
without it, it's like a piece of me is gone, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so like, I need it to survive.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it just became a natural thing. I think it started off singing on remote controls, you know, in the living room, dancing around, looking in the mirror and trying to pull stunts, you know.
Right.
Then it just, I don't know, just gradually went into karaoke at places or going sit in with a band that's playing or something or whatever. And then eventually it just was like, I just had bands and was playing with other bands and it just became a thing and I'm where I'm at now.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because I know many people didn't always grow up or have that intention to be. This is something that was later discovered, but you've been honing this all your life and just have this huge voice inside of you.
Right. I think for most people it's the, oh, when I get older I want to be a superstar thing. Right? Mm-hmm. But it's more to it than just wanting to be a superstar and wanting to be, you know, all the glamour and everything, right?
Absolutely.
Me personally, it doesn't matter how well known I'd become. I don't want you following me around with cameras. I want my own space. I like my me time. And I don't do this to compete with any other musicians or, you know, anything. This is just me. It's what makes me happy. It's what makes me. And I enjoy doing this for, you know, other people. It's a service to other people. It's like saying, hey, I know what it feels like to feel down or feel here or I've been here, you know, and you don't want somebody else to feel that way. So like you're giving something to them, you're making them feel happy or you're making them reminisce on something or, you know, those kind of things. So I just love what I do personally.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to. You know, it's a passion. You know, it is a form of making money, but it's from your soul, and we want everyone. You know, music unifies everyone. You know, so we do this from the heart space because it's genuine, it's real. We have that intention. So I'm with you on all of that.
Yeah.
How has blues music history shaped your life on and off the stage? What has that personally done for you?
Blues music?
Yes.
Let's start off to say, the area I'm in, you know. But when I was younger, my family worked. A bunch of my family members all worked in this one particular bar, and it was kind of like a family bar, you know. And I can remember being in there when I was not old enough to be in there, but it was like a second home kind of thing.
Right.
And you can't do much of anything. You can't, play poker machines and drink or none of that, good stuff. But you can play the jukebox, and so if I'd have $1 or be given $1 and, go play something on the jukebox, something led me through all the 800 CDs they had in that jukebox, because it's an old jukebox, not this new stuff. Something led me to this one particular CD that was blues and soul music, and I always pressed number 8. I wanted number 8, and number 8 was Down Home Blues. It was Denise LaSalle's version.
Yes.
And I loved it, but I knew at that age that I probably couldn't sing it. But see, once I got old enough, I sang the shit out of that song. And it was something that just resonated in me.
Yes.
It was like, it was just natural. And I mean, at that time, I've been through some trials and tribulations as a kid, but, I haven't experienced the adult trials and tribulations type of thing to actually be able to relate to that song, but somehow it resonated in me. And it was old. And everyone says, Paggy has an old soul.
Yes, you do.
To me, it means something. It tells a story. It's important, as opposed to, some songs that I have no idea what they're saying, but I like the beat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you get kind of torn there. I like
Right.
something that means something, and it's about life. It's about their life,
Absolutely.
I think being a musician, you're very vulnerable with the world. So you give the world parts of yourself that you probably wouldn't even say to your best friend, or, you know what I'm saying, a pride thing, or being embarrassed, or whatever it is. So you're being vulnerable with the world, and you're giving this world a piece of you, and let them take it and figure out the message, to each their own.
Yes,
Any
right.
song can mean 6 different things. But it's sharing something that other people are probably going through, so it resonates with people, and then they have their favorite songs and their favorite artists because of those things, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
I don't know.
It just reminds me of your story. I'm hearing you, just this young girl, just go on and just having and singing these big songs and having this voice. Reminds me of the Tina Turner story, the What's Love Got to Do It, and she's in church and she's belting out and she gets kicked out, and just her life, her transition, her journeys, her paths, very, very, very similar, to each and every one of us, because we were all that,
whoever thought you'd have went from being small to would you shut up and watch TV, to being older, and they're like, that's my girl.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Completely different attitudes as the years go by.
Indeed. Oh, Lord. Whew, all the younger musicians, they're going to have to go through the same thing.
Bless my condolences.
Paggy, what keeps you motivated to keep going even while facing difficult obstacles in life? On stage, technical difficulties. Off stage, you get a phone call and boom, you got 5 minutes to be on stage. How do you cope with that? How do you handle that and keep it going?
I think that's actually a great question, because I think one of the biggest things about being a musician and being a successful musician, or being someone that captivates audiences, is, okay, I'm got to get on stage, 5 minutes to the show, you just called me with horrible news. I channel all of that into what I'm doing. So I get a lot, you have great stage presence, and you're such a good entertainer. And I don't look at myself as an entertainer. I don't think, you don't ask me to dance because it's gonna get ugly, kind of thing. But I think of myself as a performer, because right. I'm coming to you with a talent. I'm doing something, I'm using this talent. I'm using this tool that I was blessed with. And just by me being myself and channeling if I'm happy, or channeling if I just got horrible news or whatever into my music, it punches all that emotion into it, right? So then it really hits you out in the audience. So then it creates a bond between you and your audience. So, and it's a way for you to release it, if that makes, I feel like I, as a person, myself, but I also feel like musicians, most musicians are very resilient. And I don't think people get that. We're very resilient, and we work through horrible conditions sometimes. We work in horrible environments. We work with horrible people sometimes. You know, it depends on what it is, the weather, anything, and we're very resilient. We still show up. We still give 110%. Doing what we do to make you feel good and to make sure you have a good time. And the whole time we are battling things you have no idea.
Yes.
You know? So I like to say that as a musician, I'm very resilient, but as a person, I'm a very resilient person. Like, don't tell me that's it. It's not it. It's not it.
Right.
You know, there's something else that we can do. Like, so I don't know. It's just channeling anything into music is what I do. And I think it's because I have a passion for it. You know, it means something to me.
Indeed.
So I'm not, I don't know, that's just me. I don't know about anyone else.
Right. It just seems like a great deal of you know, being optimistic and being hopeful through any situation. I can't tell you how many times I myself have been, you know, not playing on stage and going to go see other musicians, and, you know, to hear tourists, people in the crowd just speaking ill and bad upon these musicians who are giving it their all, who are being vulnerable, who have been working. This is probably their 4th or 5th gig within the day, you know, maybe more than likely, and they're giving that their all, and just to hear people not be absolutely, and it's just like, you have no idea what it took for them to come in here and do this, you know. So I've caught a couple people around the city, and it's very disheartening for us to be a major tourist revenue city, but also we're mostly known for the culture, the music, the food, but again, the music.
I feel like we are the backbone of this city in particular. We're the backbone. There's food, there's parades, there's restaurants, there's whatever it is, whatever you're naming, whatever it is, music is involved.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, so, and I mean, it's just, I also find it's not just tourists or, you know, an audience though. I find a lot of the times, and it's not all, but there's some other musicians that feel this need to downplay or downsize another musician because in my opinion, hey, okay, this person's really got something, and now I'm kind of intimidated. But, I mean, you shouldn't look at it that way, you know?
Absolutely, we're the same thing.
You learn something new every day. It doesn't matter how old you are. And if somebody's up there and you realize and recognize, wow, they're great, or wow, the emotion they're putting into it, or wow, they play guitar amazing. I mean, celebrate that shit. Like, tell them, you know what I mean? You can learn something from these people, and these people can learn something from you. Y'all can co-write, co-create, coexist, whatever it is. Like, so, I mean, and as far as the audience, my guitar player Lonnie always says all the time, whether there's 1 or there's 100, we're still gonna play the same.
Yes.
And that's something that I want people to know about us. That it doesn't matter who's in the room, and we're gonna still give it our all because we love it. You know, if you don't like it, that's fine.
Exactly. There's a million other places in the city. Keep it moving.
No.
Oh my goodness. So what was one of the most memorable shows that you and your band performed recently? And what exactly is it that you want the fans, the people in the crowd, to take with them whenever they leave your show?
I always enjoy playing around Carnival time. I always enjoy playing around Mardi Gras time, and 9 out of 10 times we're always either booked for like Endymion Parade or, you know, Mardi Gras Day kind of thing. And I mean, just really drawing the people in, and we got them in there and they're packed. And you know, for Carnival, you know, we're from here, for Carnival, people are just come and go. They come and go, it's a cycle and it keeps going. But to have the ability to be on stage during that time and captivate all these people from all over the world to where they will not leave. There's a million other artists and venues and things to do, but they cannot leave because they're captivated, right? They just can't leave. So I really enjoy when we play that, but if I'd have to choose like my favorite shows, I can't name one in particular, but I can say my favorite shows are the ones when it's just a regular Monday night. There's nothing special going on, but you can pack people into this building, and it's like it's a weekend and you're having a damn festival. Like there's so much fun, and like on Mondays they're either just coming in, but most of the time this is their last night. They're going out, they're going back to wherever they came from, right? And for them to take that back, and that, man, you have to see this band, you have to see this girl or this guy, or they made us feel this way, or have those kind of things. Like, I live for that. I like simple things.
Yes, ma'am. I feel you.
So I live for those just normal days, normal shows, nothing big, but it turns out to be extravagant. I love that. I like that.
What was one artist, whenever you were growing up, that absolutely captivated your soul, your spirit, and you were just like, that's it, I'm gonna do it. This person has pushed me to challenge myself. I'm gonna keep it going no matter how long it takes. What was that one artist for you?
Oh God, you're gonna make me pick one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You get 3.
Okay.
How about 3? I'll give you 3. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
She wants to be
That's
fair
fair.
today.
I want to be fair.
So I have to say one of my McKinley Mitchell. I know a lot of people might not know who that is, but this is really old. And I think I had grown a love for him because I felt like I knew him after just listening to one song. He had a song called "The End of the Rainbow." If you haven't heard it, you should listen to it. And listening to that song, it was like, man, this is just a regular man that's talking about an experience that he had in life, real life experiences, And something about that song just touched me so when I was a kid. I probably didn't even know what it meant. And I loved it, and still to this day, it's one of my favorite songs. So I'd have to say McKinley Mitchell. I'd have to say Sam Cooke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the reason being, I mean, he has so many great songs, and he, but A Change Gonna Come speaks to me in a multitude of ways. So I resonate with that song, and that's like a go-to song for anything. If I'm crying, if I'm mad, I need that song in my life. I love Sam Cooke, and there was something about that song that really set it off for me, apart from all his other songs. And then I'll just go off on a limb, and I'm passing up so many great people like Otis Redding and Percy Sledge, but I'm really a really big fan of Shirley Murdoch and Betty Wright. Yes. And I said them both together, and okay, I took 4.
You can have that.
But I loved it because I'm very sarcastic. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very sarcastic. It's not to be mean. I'm just being me, and it's funny most of the time. But I'm very sarcastic, and I loved the sass. I love the like, oh yeah, you think you got over on me? I caught you with your pants down. Like I love that. So like that's what drew me into like Denise LaSalle and stuff like that. It was the attitude. It was if you ask my boyfriend, I'm a sassy, you know what. I loved it. I loved the attitude, and I loved the fact that these were women, and they were coming in, like Etta James, they were coming in, and they were coming in strong. It was like, hey, I don't care what you got hanging between your legs, but I'm doing my damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I loved it, and I know it's hard for women. It's still hard for women.
Yes,
and it's 2020, but like I knew it was hard for women in any part of the world to get into anything, music, jobs, whatever, so I loved it. I loved the attitude, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna be like them when I grow up. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, with giving the events of today and what's happening with the music industry, the tourist industry, just the world in general, what words of advice or encouragement do you have for the other musicians, not just here, but for the world? Because we're all facing certain trials and tribulations right now and trying to find our way to deal, to balance?
Right. I would say since March of this year, since COVID, I would say it's been extremely hard for me as a person, especially mental health-wise, you know what I mean? And being that music is for, I think, most of us musicians, it's not all of us, it's really not, but most of us, it's a passion and it's a way of life and it's how we express ourselves and it's how we live every day, you know? And without it, then you fall into depression, you fall into whatever. So I think my thing is like, don't give up and take this time to reflect, take this time to create new things, take this time to write. I've been writing like crazy. I must have a fever. Take time to write, you know, and then whenever it's time to come out and show out, you know, bring all that and come out with a bang, you know, like let them know why they missed us, you know, kind of thing. But just write, create, do something, even if it's through Zoom, even if it's over the phone, connect with other musicians. And, you know, y'all, you know, co-write and coexist, anything that has to do with music, just coexist and to keep yourself sane. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Don't let all this like drag you down. I know I've been there a couple of times. Like, not being able to play music is really hard on me, and I take it really hard. So I can completely understand. But like, if you're feeling that kind of way, reach out to me. You know, we'll do something. We'll figure something out. We'll do a live show. We'll whatever we have to do. Like, just don't give up. Like, just be resilient because we're resilient.
Absolutely.
You know, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You know, everybody goes through their own.
Yes.
You know, things. Some might be fine not playing because, in a sense, you know, when it first kind of started, we were like, whew,
right.
We're getting a break. Thank you, Jesus. And then, you know, after that week passed, it was like, all right, now, God, you got carried away. You know, I'm gonna need you to bring back the gigs and make this go away. Like, but I feel like there comes a time in life like you need a break. Everybody needs a break. Everything has to shift. Everything changes, and I feel like this is our time now. You know, like I feel like when everything starts back up, it's gonna be a really different scene, which could be it could be a really good thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe not so good. I don't know, but all I know is I'm not gonna stop doing it, and then, you know, with fear of wondering what it's gonna be like, or if we're completely done, you know, or I'm gonna just keep going. Now, when we come back, be like, pow, you know, like, you missed me, I sure missed you, you know?
Right.
And bring them something and bring them songs or whatever from everything you went through during COVID. Like,
right.
Whatever. You know, I'm like Franklin, I don't know if you know Franklin Davis, Berkeley artist, Water Seed.
Yes.
You know, him having COVID. And I was just like following him really hard during that time. Just like, oh my God, you know, I'm praying for him. Like him having that and then coming out of it and, you know, it being a really bad situation for him and coming out of it. And I mean, writing books and creating music and, you know, like he's just doing it. Like he bloomed, he grew from it. And so like stuff like that, you know, do stuff. Don't be afraid to do stuff because you don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but don't stop being yourself. You know?
Right.
I mean, that's all that I could say.
Right.
Be yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Be yourself.
The best thing to do. And this is going to be my last question for you, and then we're going to, you know, cut to your performance, Paggy Prine and the Soul Connection.
Southern Soul.
Southern Soul. Thanks for that correction. Paggy, what do you think it truly takes to be a Louisiana musician with everything we have going on? Like, what, from your standpoint of view and on the behalf of your band, what do you feel that is? There's no right or wrong question for that either.
I would prefer not to just answer for one particular state.
Absolutely.
But I think musician in general, I feel like people think that we're just doing a hobby or something that's not work. It's really hard work. It's really hard work, and I feel for any musician anywhere. We play when we're sick. We play when we've lost somebody. you know, I've had kidney failure and was in ICU, and I was like, you know, you got to release me. I have a show tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I played that show, and I cried through that whole show, but I played that show. You know, we're dedicated to it. It's the passion. It's believing in it. We believe in it, you know? So I think just know it's hard work. And if you don't get somewhere this week and you don't get somewhere next month, or, you know, it might take years, don't stop and don't give up. Like, your ship just didn't pass yet. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean it ain't coming, kind of thing. So it's like, keep working at it. Like I said, you learn something new every day. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Don't be, as far as writing music, I'm very like, oh Lord, it's gonna sound stupid, you know? But then playing it to other people, and then they fall in love with it, sincerely fall in love with it. So, and it's just like, man, you know, you're your own worst critic. And I feel like you can be amazing and not, you know, not think that, but you do it because you love it, kind of thing. You're gonna be your own worst critic. You're gonna be the person that puts you down the most. You're gonna be the only person to hold you back. And I've been there a million times, trust me. So it's like, don't stop, be dedicated. If you're gonna do it, have passion. If you want it to go somewhere, believe in it. Because if you don't, then I won't. You know what I mean? I can listen to a bunch of musicians play, and I've heard some sing and they sound great, but I didn't buy what they were selling. You know, like, I was just like, I don't feel it. You know, I don't believe you, kind of thing. And then I've watched other people play or sing, and it's just like, they lived whatever it is that they're channeling it through the song. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you feel it. And so in return, your audience, when they get those moments, they feel like they know you. So they don't feel like they should take time to get to know that we are regular people. We have jobs, we have kids, we have families, we struggle, but yet we do this, you know what I mean? So just because you have those moments where we touch you in a certain way, you don't feel like you just know us. Get to know us. Get to know how we got here. Or get to know why when I sang this song, it made you cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, get to know that about us, because it's important.
Yep.
It matters. I mean, I don't.
Yep, I can definitely recall definitely last bit of what you said, and getting to know you, having a song to make you cry, because, you know, I lost my grandmother, and I came in to see you that one evening, and you pulled it out of me, and I was trying so hard to not, you know, and you pulled that out of me. And you know, the holidays aren't normally a good time for me, but because
it was about Christmas time or something.
Yep.
I remember that. I remember that night, and it was a pretty packed night. It was pretty good Monday night. I remember you coming in, and I remember you not being yourself. You know, like, and so when I finally got a moment to get off stage, you know, while the band played, and come walk over and hug you and just be like, you know, what's going on? And you let me know that. And I was just like, you know, I sing this one particular song because it really sits with me, resonates with me because of loss. And so I was just like, you know, I'm gonna sing that song for her. Don't you do it. She's gonna mess up her makeup, you guys. But that's why I sing that song for you, because I just want you to know, like, hey, don't, it's almost Christmas time. Like, don't, be happy. Like, you know, don't, we can't change those things. But that music, that song, I feel like might have made you cry, and Lonnie's just like, why'd you make her cry? You know, and I'm just like, well, I don't think it's so much of just sad tears. Right. It's just the what is the word? You know, like how you get adrenaline rush?
Yes.
It's the rush of emotions. Yep. And it's like it all just hits you, and it creates this little moment of peace in your brain in that moment of, you know what I mean? So it's like, and I was just like, you know, be all right, and you were crying, laughing, and I'm just like,
it was a mix of both, because I'm crying, trying to have a moment, and people are coming in my face with drinks, like, what happened to you? And I'm just like, I need a minute.
They're there to enjoy the band. They're enjoying me up until the point they asked Latasha, what's the matter? It's her fault. Thanks, Latasha. Yeah, it's those moments. I love those moments. I mean, when you put out something that just you're so passionate about, or you know, whatever it is, and you attract audiences as small as 2- and 3-year-old kids, you know, and I'm gonna throw out there Mandy and Nate Hunt. They're not from here, from out of state. Husband came one trip, saw me, came back, brought his wife the next trip to see me. Brought his 2 kids, and the youngest one, she might be about 4 now, Everly, and he's like, this is your biggest fan, so I call her my biggest, tiniest fan, and every day she watches me on YouTube, and her 2 favorite songs, Let's Do It Again, Staple Sisters, Staple Singers, whichever one you want to call them, and Cry to Me, Solomon Burke. Favorite 2 songs. And I'm just like, and I keep in touch with them, they keep in touch with me, and it's almost like I'm a part of her life, you know. She's starting school, and I'm just like, you go, girl. Like, you know, so it's like those kind of things. It's like, man, thank y'all so much for like just introducing her to this, to music in general, not just live music, but thank you for introducing her to music. You know, like I feel like you're raising her right. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
If you're not introducing them to music, you're doing something wrong.
Yes,
like,
yes, and give them that ability to understand their emotions and not to discredit or belittle them for having those emotions, healthy emotions, just being able to talk about it.
Right.
Well, Paggy, I've enjoyed this thoroughly. Very grateful for you being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the Bayou Interviews. Thank you so much, Steve and Brad, Spirits on Bourbon, Turtle Bay owners, for allowing us to have this location. I'm your host, Datzydecogurl. This is Paggy Prine. Stick around for her and her band's bad ass, amazing performance.
Stop it. Okay, keep coming, keep coming.
And we'll catch you in soon, all right? Y'all stick around.
Don't try to cock block me, Dylan. You ready? I'm just playing, y'all. 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that gravy and I'll hold for a destination. Sing it if you know it, y'all. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood I've made. Or whatever that means. It's y'all cue. You ready? And so I pray sometimes when I'm lying in bed, get it all out what's in my head. I'm feeling a little more. Oh, and so I'm waking up. Y'all ready? 25 years and my life is still trying to get up there, baby, and I hope for a destination. We're not finished. We're not finished. Are y'all having a good time tonight down here in New Orleans? Well, I want you to sing the damn song like you having a good goddamn time tonight down here in New Orleans. All right? All right? You ready? I said, sing that shit. Hey.
Datzydecogurl.